What's up, everybody, and welcome into the Work Wherever podcast. As you can see, I am in a different location, no longer in what used to be the studio. We have totally changed things up, and I am actually in a mobile studio. We're hitting the road. That's the new big announcement here on the Work Wherever podcast. I am going to be doing these shows now from an RV. Well, technically, it's a camper. Um, I've gone down this road the last year of trying to figure out, well, we're getting an RV, are we getting camper, fifth wheel, what does it mean? How can we take the Work Wherever podcast, take it out of a home location and put it actually out into the world? And we think we have a good, I don't know, makeup, scenario, way of doing that, and that is with this camper. So we got the camper. We have changed it around, made it so that it is Work Wherever accessible. We got internet for it. We got portable generators. We got an office space. We got places to, and we are going to share all of these tips and tricks with you through the new revamped Work Wherever podcast that is this podcast. So, what have I said in the past with the Work Wherever podcast? It is, what did I say? Man, it's been so long since I've done this intro. This is the podcast where we talk about AI automation, the ability to work wherever so you can live every day like it is Saturday. And we're hitting the road like it is Saturday. We are going to hit it like it is the weekend for this podcast, and we'll be doing it here in the camper. We'll be doing it so that you guys have a full front row experience with everything that we're doing, everything that we are taking out of the road, taking out of the world, and showing you what a Saturday looks like, even though sometimes we work on Saturdays here, at least when every day is Saturday, right? So welcome into the new Work Wherever podcast. My name is Roy Edwards. To kind of reset the show here, I am one of the co-founders of Capital Presence, which is a federal contracting enterprise solutions organizations. We do DevOps implementation, artificial intelligence, automation, and we build business applications to enable organizations to run multi-location businesses. So if you have a business that has multiple locations, that has a displaced remote workforce, maybe you are dealing with war fighters that are in remote locations, that's what we specialize in. To take that a little bit further, we specialize in highly classified information when those organizations have the other scenarios. So if you have multiple locations, you have a displaced workforce, which could mean war fighters out in the middle of the world or in a remote location, and your information is classified and highly regulated, you've come to the right place. That's what we do at Capital Presence. And so a lot of the things that we have come to understand, that we have learned throughout our 12-year journey in doing what it is that we do, commercial, small businesses wanted to do some of these same things. They said, hey, Roy, Capital Presence, we want to do that too. How do I work remote? Me as the employee, how do I find a remote job? How do I, the small business, incorporate some of these highly regulated industry information in order to implement it into my small business? I don't have the funding that the federal government, some of these Fortune 500 companies that you guys work with, I don't have that type of funding. How can you help me? And that's what this show is, the Work Wherever podcast. We're going to take some of these big lessons. We're going to turn them into the SMB implementation aspect of it, and we're going to make it so anybody and everyone has the resources and the tools to work wherever, build a business that does, and that is the new Go Work Wherever. So if you go to goworkwherever.com, that is going to be your one-stop shop home for all remote workers, remote organizations, and small businesses who are looking to work remote. They don't have the big pockets, but they want to make sure that they can implement some of these systems. So that's what this podcast is going to be. That's what Go Work Wherever is going to be. And this is the first episode of that new day. And I wanted to take with you just a very quick podcast episode to drop just as we head into, it's Q1 for us, might be Q4 for you, but some of the things that you need to be looking at and planning. First off, it's going to be 3 steps to getting into the getting your Q4, Q1 up to date as you head into the new year. That's today's episode. So step 1, you want to make sure you go through your systems and processes and take a deep dive. You want to make sure that you're taking a look at everything that you do. Is it the way that you set it out to be? Are things flowing and functioning the way that you think they should be? Do you have the necessary templates and information to empower your workforce as you look to scale in 2025? That is step one. You want to make sure that all things are there. How do you do that? Well, take a look at your SOPs, your systems and processes. Take a look at your process maps. Do they exist? Take a look at some of those checklists that people are supposed to be doing every day. First, are they doing it every day? Probably not. Are there repeatable things that they should be doing every day that aren't captured, or are they not simply not doing? And then, taking a look at it from a business perspective and saying, if I were to remove somebody, would the process still function, or is it relying on me, myself, the small business owner? That is all step one. Taking a look at your systems and your processes. Step two is that I just kind of alluded to it, but it is the hit by bus theory is what a lot of people call it. The key pin, I don't know. I call it hit by bus, but it is if you took out your most senior member, and a lot of you small businesses, that's you. Let's be real here. A lot of those small businesses, you are the key pin. You are the cornerstone. You are the if you got hit by a bus, your business would crumble, and the rest of your employees, or if you even have employees, you might not, but then your business is definitely going down. But if you were to take 2 weeks off, let's not go as hardcore as you're getting hit by a bus. But let's say you take 2 weeks off. Do things completely come to a halt? And if they do, then you need to take a hard look at who that senior member is and what it is that they're doing that creates that roadblock and brings things to a halt. And if it's you, then you need to get it out of your own head. You need to get it out of your own brain so that you can offload some of these things to somebody else. Because when you can take those systems and processes and information or the historical knowledge, and if you can get it out of your head and into somebody else's, then you can do things twice as fast. You can go focus on other things. If you're the business owner, bring yourself out of the business. Even though a lot of you always want to be in the business, and maybe that's the way that you drive your income and you keep your prices the way that it is and you drive the income that you need to survive, maybe you'll always be in the business. But the more clients you get, at a certain point, a business gets to a point where I have too many clients to service, and you're running around crazy, or you don't have enough clients and I got to go sell, and then you sell, bring the clients in, and then you're work, and you don't have that backlog. So how do you reach that balance? And you reach that balance by taking a hard look at what is that you every day that makes the business flow and function, or if it's a senior member, what do they do every day that makes the business flow and function? And you take them out for 2 weeks, and you find the holes in the boat. That's step two. Step three, like I said, guys, I was going to keep this very, very, very short for you. Just a quick hitter here in the first episode of the Work Wherever podcast. Step 3 is you review and refine. So you're going to want to make sure that what you did this year, you take a look at your goals. You took a look at what you were looking to accomplish. You take a look at your finances. You take a look at the customers that you did service, and you review and refine. You say, what went right? What went wrong? What can we try differently? And as you're going into the next year, you want to use that information to build a business and a structure that can effectively work wherever. And so how do you do that? Systems, processes, automation. But we can't really do the automation until we get the systems and the processes. And we can't really fully fine-tune our systems and processes until what? Step 2, we get that key person's information out of their brain and onto a piece of paper, or maybe it's yourself. And then step 3, review and refine what all's going on. Because systems and processes are always living. It's a living document. It's not a set in stone kind of a thing. You need to review and refine and take a look at it. And you can't go work wherever. You can't go get out in the woods. You can't go sit in an RV like me, or a camper rather. You can't go. My RV people are like, that's not an RV if you're pulling it. So you're right. It's a camper. But you can't go get out in a camper. You can't go leave the office if your systems and processes aren't in place. You are the linchpin, and you're the problem. You're the roadblock within your organization holding you back. And you haven't reviewed and refined what is going right within your organization. Those are the 3 things that you need to focus on heading into the new year. And if you want help with that, go to goworkwherever.com. Hit us up. We'll be able to help you out at Capital Presence if you're a bigger organization. We do have prerequisites of the people that we work with at Capital Presence, so we don't work with everybody, but if you meet our criteria, we would love to help you out. So go to capitalpresence.com, CAPITOL PRESENCE, presence like you're here, capitalpresence.com. Fill out a form. You'll take our little quiz. It'll tell you whether or not you're ready. Your business is ready to work with us. If it's not, that's okay. We got some resources for you at goworkwherever.com that will point you in the right direction so we can get everybody out in the woods, everybody out into the beach or a cabin, or I guess we're hitting the fall, aren't we? So the beach is kind of set sailed, but maybe you want to head south. I don't know. But guys, thanks for hanging out. Welcome to the new Go Work Wherever podcast. We're happy you're here. And we're going to have fun here going forward. So thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out. Until next time, guys. Woo!